r/Nosleep. Posted by u/se_Tess. I work in the company that provides sets of rules where it's needed. I'm here to tell you about my job. Hello everybody, I'm Tess. I am a field worker in a company which provides special safety rules for places that need it. So if you ever find yourself in a sketchy job or rent a weird apartment and found the set of rules, they probably were written by me or another person that works for a company. Today I wanted to tell you about the basics of my job. We go in the field in pairs, always a man and a woman. When you start working in the company, you are assigned to an individual and that is your partner until one of you dies. I lost mine not long ago and was provided with a new one, but he is a little bit difficult to work with. That's another story, though. Cases usually take us between 2 weeks to a month to close. Before we even resolve it, we investigate if the case is legit. Yeah, scam calls happen even here. If it's real, we start working. First, we collect information and details of what's going from person that called us. Then we go to the place and stay there for a week usually. We experience everything, note anything that happens, and then we proceed to work on how to avoid those events. For me, it's usually 1 to 2 days until full list is complete. However, it never happened that first set of rules is right. Something is always wrong, so we have to test it multiple times to get it perfect. After the list is finished, a tester is sent. We prefer when it's the owner of a place, but when it's needed, we send our own specialized workers. When everything is approved by the owner and company, our work is done. Now, a little more specifically. I wanted to start at the beginning, spam calls. It happens when an entity is trying to lure someone to its trap. Sometimes we know right away that it's a fake call. But sometimes only after meeting is finished, we get to know that it's a scam. And I think it's obvious that we have a list of rules on how to deal with scam calls. We have rules for almost everything. That's what we do after all. 1. Always accept phone calls for the cases. If, for whatever reason, you are unable to work, inform your supervisor and turn off your phone. 2. Some cases are fake. If you hear static noise during the conversation, hang up immediately. 3. If the conversation was clear and a meeting was set up, you have to check if the address is on the BOA, blacklist of addresses. If it is there, note the call in the archives. If it's not there, you have to go. Your partner will meet you there. 4. Under any circumstance, do not travel together. Only exception is explained in rule number 8. 5. You and your partner should arrive at similar time at the place of the meeting. If you know that you will be late to the meeting, call or message your partner. If he or she doesn't respond, proceed to the next rule. 6. When you arrive and your partner is not there, wait for 7 minutes. If you are still alone and didn't receive any message or call from your partner, return to the company and report everything. 7. If both partners arrived, look at the building. If it has unpainted walls, female has to enter first. If the walls are painted, male has to enter first. If you are not sure, inspect it. In case walls are white, you have to enter at the same time with the same leg. Left leg for bare floor, right leg for carpeted floor. 8. In case building is black or there is water on the floor, do not enter. Call a taxi and return together to the company. We will get your vehicles back if they are found. If not, the company will provide you a new one. 9. A caller will greet you as soon as you enter. Follow them until you hear the line, "Now we can speak in peace." If you hear something else, say farewell and leave. 10. If at any point of the conversation suddenly you start to feel uncomfortable in any way, trust your feeling. As politely as you can, end the conversation and leave. 11. After you finished the meeting, look at the weather. If it's clear, you can get out. When it's not clear, notify the company. If no one shows up within 30 minutes, go look for someone with a phone. Ask first person that you meet to call a taxi for you. If they refuse, do not insist. Go find another person. If you manage to get the cab, you can safely return to the company. If you can't get a cab, go to rule number 13. 12. After your arrival, go to Ms. Lovercart, report everything and then return home. 13. If the building is empty or everyone refused to call the taxi, go to the top floor and search for a room with a bed. Send your exact location to Mr. Gravier and Ms. Plum and sit or lay on the bed. Your feet must remain off the ground until Mr. Gravier or Ms. Plum arrive. When one of them or both arrive, they will take you back straight to your place of living. After you are home, write an email to Ms. Lovercart with a detailed description of the events. Addition: with true call everything will go smoothly. Fake cases are rare, but still happens. Do not break the rules under any circumstance. If you notice anything unusual that is not listed among these rules, notify your supervisor ASAP. Thank you for your work and trust. The company. What happens if you break those rules? I won't surprise you when I say you can meet a fate worse than death. I know it's cliché, but it's true. I personally never broke any of the rules above, but I witnessed some results and heard many stories. Here is one, that was told by my supervisor Al, back from his rookie days. I worked in the field for a year or so. A couple weeks earlier, I lost my partner due to her violation of the rules, and it was a day when I met new one, Irma. I remember it well, cause the moment I saw her I knew working with her won't be easy. She seemed so out of place in the company with her colorful outfit and carefree gaze. She gave the impression that she was here by accident. But I thought to myself, Paul told you that she is a veteran, one of the best workers in her region. Maybe she won't be that bad. My thoughts were interrupted by her loud laughter. I came to her and asked, "What's that funny?" She looked at me and laughed even harder. I noticed one of our list of rules in her hand. "It's not a joke," I said, pointing at the paper. "Those rules are very important." She stopped laughing and spoke with a hard Slavic accent. "It can't be. I have never seen such a thing in my life. You work in a company that is providing rules for people and you are surprised that we have rules for our work? Where I come from, we don't need anything like that. We are not as stupid as you Americans." "Well, now that you work here, you don't have a choice. You won't tell me what to do, brat." She spat out with anger and stormed out of the building. Well, that was something, I thought. I shook my head and went home. 3 days later we had a meeting with our client. Following the rules we traveled apart, and when I arrived, she was already there with her arms crossed on the chest. Finally. This dumb thing won't let me in. She was angry. I looked at the building. It was a small house with walls covered in green and blue stripes. In front of the door stood Big White Dog. "He won't let you in. I have to go first cause walls are painted. Rule number 6 covers that." She grunted something in her language, but gestured me to go. When we approached, Dog sniffed me and moved away. As soon as we both were inside, Little Boy greeted us with joy and took us to the kitchen. He sat next to the woman with green eyes and brown hair and said, "Now we can speak in peace. Please sit down." We started a conversation. I can't really remember what was the topic, but suddenly a cold shiver ran down my spine and I knew we had to get out ASAP. I was trying to end the talk, but Irma was talking to this woman about something that was not related to the case. She just brushed me off and continued talking. I didn't know what to do, so I went outside to call my supervisor. However, when I closed the door, I heard a beastly growl and then screaming started. I tried to enter the house, but the door just wouldn't budge even when I kicked them. After maybe a minute they opened on their own. I cautiously went in, but it was completely empty. Everything was gone. No people, no dog, no furniture. Just bare walls and floors. I took my phone to call somebody, but it was dead, so I rushed back to the company and told them everything that happened. They straight away sent investigators and special search team. I was ordered to go home and don't leave and not to contact anybody in 24 hours. But when I got to my place, my doors were covered in blood, claw scratches, dents and cracks, but the worst thing was at the bottom. On the ground, which was also covered in blood and some strange black goo, there was extremely mutilated, decapitated body. That was. I still have nightmares about it. I just nope out of there, back to the company. I went to my supervisor, but I didn't have to say anything, cause when he saw me, he just pulled out his phone and called investigators to go to my place. It turned out that this body belonged to a male company worker who went missing 54 years earlier. They did search my house and its surroundings, but didn't find anything. Still, as a precaution, I had to move, and I was suspended from taking any cases for 3 months. When I got back, Paul took me to his office and told me what they had discovered. Exactly 54 years earlier, what happened to Irma happened to the man whose body was found in my doorway. Cases were exactly the same, even day, month and time. Only thing different was the gender of a missing person. They contacted nests in other countries and everyone had at least one event like ours. Therefore, our big boss decided that we will get a blacklist of addresses. How the address ends up on this list. If it's a second meeting in the same location and something goes wrong, we put it on the list, and no one goes there ever again. Just that simple. After that, I worked in the office with a Ms. Lovercart for a year before I was able to work in a field again. You know, losing 3 partners in such a short amount of time, just because they were stupid and ignorant, was really hard for me. And that's why I always tell you kids, make sure everyone follows the rules. They were created for a reason. I leave tomorrow for the investigation, so I'll be gone for a while. This case won't be easy. I really don't like cemeteries and I really hope I won't meet the caretaker. Stay safe everyone and don't worry, I'll be back, smile.